Hello and welcome to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Adingor. Hello and welcome to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Adingor. This week on Fixing South Sudan, we take a deep look at the progress being made by the Ministry of Energy and Dams following last month's inauguration of the Juba Power Grid and Transmission Network, giving Juba public electricity for the first time since independence. Joining us to discuss this development and more is Honorable Dr. Dhieu Mathok Diing, the Minister of Energy and Dams. Welcome to the program. How are you?
Thank you, Madingor. We are most welcome in our office, and thank you so much for coming to talk to us.
You were previously nicknamed the Ministry of Darkness. This is no longer the case because last month the President of the Republic, General Salva Kiir, launched the power distribution network, and everyone celebrated and congratulated you. So tell me about this good news.
Actually, I believe that aspiration of people of South Sudan is bigger than Juba. We will be very happy when the power reach out to major towns of South Sudan. We are working now in many towns. We want to see that this service reach out the majority of South Sudanese. Regarding Juba, we are happy that we made it. It was a dream, but now it become reality.
Just give me a broad outline about the project.
The project is about twin projects, actually. Part of it is generation. There is a power plant which is set in the other side of the river with the capacity of 100 megawatt. Is owned by the businessman. Is a family investment called Ezra. And the power plant is set to produce 100 megawatt in 4 phases. We are now in phase 1, where the president went last month and launched the 33 megawatt. The other side of the project is network distribution. Network distribution is being funded by African Development Bank. We have more than 150 kilometers around Juba as a transmission line that is medium voltage. And we have more than 360 distribution network that is the low voltage. And we have 5 customer care centers which are supposed to serve our public. We have a substation in the Juba power station. We have a new substation where the power is being received from the other side of the river and then now distributed into various feeders. So that is actually about the project of Juba Power Station.
With regards to the Ezra project, tell me about the first phase, which is 33 megawatts. What are the goals for that?
According to the contract that was signed between the ministry and the Ezra company, Ezra is supposed actually to produce 100. We projected to be the consumption of Juba city. For now, we are expecting to increase anytime, but because we are now entering to the new system that is selling the power to the public, and a partnership between the private and public sector, we say that let us approach it in a very slow way. That is why we divide it up into 4 phases, say that we forecast the market. But the infrastructure of the 100 megawatts is ready. Whenever the demand rises, automatically we are coming to bring in and bring another engine to address the issue.
I'm talking about the first phase, which is 33 megawatt. Where is it supposed to, which neighborhoods are supposed to be served?
It is actually the 33 megawatt we have started when the president launched it last month. We divided Juba into the quarters, and we divided also the distribution of this 33 into 4 phases because everything is new. The network is completely new. The engine is new, and you know there must be a matching between the production and the consumption. Those engines, one engine at least produces 9 megawatt, and we must have to make sure that when the engine is switched on, this 9 megawatt has to be consumed. That is why we divided up Juba City into 4 zones, and we moved with the erection and installation of the prepaid meters, because this is also another new policy. So the first phase already has finished. That is Juba, the whole Juba City, the market, and then the Amarat and the Mayo. All these areas, they are now completed. We are moving now to the next phase where we are expecting the Muniki and then the Gudeli, Mio Saba, and all this area to get the power.
Let me rephrase my question. Which areas are getting electricity and which areas are not? Because as you are aware, people were excited about the electricity on the main roads, but power is not going to all the suburbs. And this is a constant complaint that you have heard from the residents, that where is the electricity we were talking about?
Electricity, everybody is going to get electricity, but I want also the consumer, the public, to cooperate with the power station. Because, you know, we are moving to the new policy where you must have a prepaid meters. And the prepaid meters is installed upon your request. You go and apply for it and then give some of details, say that you have your own account that can make you to come and buy. Last time we tried to announce in the public, say that the public come and then registered, but we failed. That was before we launched the power.
So for the electricity to be accessed, people must get the prepaid meters.
Exactly.
What about the main institutions as we speak, the hospital and university and the ministries? Which areas are now connected?
All of them, I believe they are connected.
Maybe
all the institutions except the hospital, because the hospital, we come assessment that we have done, we come to realize that they need a transformer, and we must have to identify its own transformer and then set it up. And I believe this one now, until this moment, I think is completed. Otherwise, the whole institutions are getting power. What we are enjoying now in this ministry is from the public power.
It's only a few places that are getting power. And the question people are asking, why was the launching expedited? Why couldn't you you wait for the engineers to complete their work and then launch the project?
It cannot happen because we need power to energize the feeders. We need power to energize the transformers. If you don't launch it, you will not have power. Another thing, we need also public to cooperate, to come and register, because the power plant is selling the power, is not free. So it is a complicated issue. The best way after our study is to launch the power and then now do the connection. As we are speaking now, we have more than 4,000 which are connected. And I believe that these things is moving. We are going to reach our target. And I want to say that every house that has prepaid meters can be able now to buy and have electricity.
And this thing is about income disparity. Those who don't have the money will not be able to connect to the electricity, and the rate as it stands is 0.42 USD, which is one of the highest in the world, and the average is 0.35 or 0.38. So people are saying, what is the point? If we cannot afford it, then that means there's no electricity at all.
First of all, this is a very important issue. We are now connecting the prepaid messages on loan basis. It's free until now, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be free. We are going to cut it and you will be paying as long as you go and buy. You will be paying, and it may take time. It may take 2 years. It may take more than that, such that the consumer, it doesn't feel that he's paying. Concerning the tariff, we are within the region tariff. We are not. I don't believe that we are more expensive than others. This is how the region is selling, especially the generation through thermal power is very expensive. But we are trying now addressing it differently. We contacted many companies, and the government is facilitating the generation through solar system. Maybe because we have already signed a contract with the Swedish company in order to produce 20 megawatt. This 20 megawatt, if entered into our network, automatically is going to bring down the tariff.
But who comes up with the prices, with the rate?
It is the authority. We have this ministry is mandated, first of all, to determine the tariff.
Is the ministry?
The ministry is mandated to determine the tariff.
That's
the other part of it.
That's the question I was asking.
The other part, which is important, we are selling 100 megawatt at the cost, such that it addresses the issue of the poor people. We know that there are people who have ability, but since we cannot identify them, then automatically this first 100 unit that you buy it, you pay at the cost.
Is subsidized.
Exactly.
Okay.
The first 100. But if you increase it more than that, you will pay 4.2, as you say.
Tell me about Ezra Construction and Development Group Company, which is the investor at the center of this project.
You know, this company, it was registered in South Sudan during the civil authority of the New Sudan. The license that they have now, it was in 2003. They used to be with South Sudanese. They fought the war. When the town is captured, they come in. When the people are chased away, they run away. So they become like a national company. When we were faced with a very difficult situation, the African Development Bank accepted to rehabilitate the network because the Norwegian government said that they are going to generate electricity, 40 megawatt, from Fula and transmit it to Juba. Now, when the war erupted, the Norwegian withdrew their support and generation of the 40 megawatt. And we were in difficult situation because the network is going to be maintained, but there was no generation. So I decided to invite the companies. Many companies, more than 100, they came here, but they were asking for guarantees. Except Ezra. They said that, look, this is our country. We have been here. We know the war, the economy of the war. We are going to risk our money, and then we will invest.
Are you saying that there was competitive bidding done?
Exactly. There was more than 100 company, but they need either...
How were those ones identified?
No, they came. You know,
how did you reach out to them?
I reached out to them by, first of all, we signed the MOU and then asked them for the...
MOU with 100 companies.
MOU, that is the starting point.
With all the companies,
within
100 companies.
Within all these companies, we have started with the MOU and then ask them now to give us their offer. When they give offer, they talk of either...
But you have to make an advertisement or announcement for you to even know about those companies to do the MOU with. So was it advertised?
You know, Madingor, the situation we were dealing with, it was very difficult. We are in the middle of the war. That was 2016.
So it wasn't advertised?
Many companies, that it was not advertised, But
it was single source to Ezra because Ezra has historical relations with South Sudan.
That is not the case. Their offer was excellent. They didn't ask the bank guarantees. They didn't ask about the oil to be collateralized, except that they just only need the contract to be signed by the government and certified by the government. So that company now, actually, it is a huge risk to invest more than 200 without guarantees. They doesn't have any guarantee. Now company can do that.
More than 200 US dollars.
Exactly.
Is that the cost of the project?
The cost of the project.
Why don't we take a break from it?
Thank you.
Are you looking for a quality media company in South Sudan? Have you heard of Dolku Media? Well, look no further. At Dolku Media, we fix any event for you. We provide top general video coverage for you using our state-of-art equipment, including our unique digital video mixer and the crane tripod. Would you like quality photography? We can fix it for you. Would you love to have a first-class wedding? We can also do it for you at an affordable price. Or would you like to laugh? We can also make you do that. Contact us now on 0920 007 515 or visit our office located within Peace Hospital in Juba to receive our quality digital technology service.
Dolco Media, we fix the nation.
Welcome back to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Madingor, and with us in the show, Honorable Dr. Dhieu Mathok Diing, the Minister of Energy and Dams. We talk about the Juba Power Transmission, which was launched last month. A lot to talk about. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
We were speaking about Ezra, and tell me about the capacity of Ezra. They got the contract because they were willing to go extra mile, which the other companies were not able to do, and you gave them the contract, and you are saying to the tune of $200 million. The figures I have for Ezra contract is $365 million. Which is which?
I don't know who give you that figure, but what so far I know has a minister in this ministry is 218 million. And the project has a lot of component. It has social responsibility. The Ezra is going actually to construct a school. They are going to construct the clinic at the hospital. They are going to build 5 houses for the community leaders. They are going to sponsor students, 2 students every year for 17 years, different level from the community. They are going to get a tractor to the community. There are a lot of social responsibility which are attached to that project.
Its contracts is coming with a lot of benefits.
Yes.
For South Sudanese.
Yes.
How did you reach the figure? $200 million or more is a lot of money.
You know, Madingor, the way how the contracts are signed in this ministry is different from the other ministries. We in the ministry, we are responsible for the technical part of the project. That is, if you want to apply for a certain generation or transmission or distribution, you come to us, and then we screen what is actually supposed to be screened by this ministry technically, and then now send to the Ministry of Finance, where there is something called loan committee. The loan committee is a group of the 7 or 8 institutions come together, which are supposed to scrutinize the contracts.
They worked out the cost.
Exactly. So
and it was endorsed by the cabinet.
By the cabinet.
But it did not get legislative approval, and $200 million is a lot of money. And it's something that should have gone to the parliament. Why didn't you take it to the parliament?
You know, you are right, but not always the case. You know, sometimes if the parliament is on recess, the president and the cabinet, they have a power for legislation.
Was the parliament on recess?
It was on recess. When it was signed, the parliament was not there.
But what is the hurry about? The people have waited for years and there's no electricity and people have been moving on. What was the rush about?
The electricity is a complicated business. It is not something that you can rush, otherwise people will die.
But you have rushed it.
We didn't rush it.
You did not wait to take it to the parliament.
What was rushed is the preparation of the documents And until now, it can go to the parliament anytime. I don't think that there is any problem with that.
You said that Ezra did not ask for guarantees.
Yes.
So does it mean that it is meeting, it has invested all that money?
That part, it is a part of the Ezra to answer them. But what so far I know,
You are the one who negotiated the contract.
I'm the one who negotiated the contract. The contract was negotiated by the loan committee. We have done our part as technical ministry, as far as the generation concerned with them, as far as the specification of the type of the engines that we want, as far as the transformers concerned. This is what we have done. But
and as far as the contract is concerned, what has Ezra contributed? We know the value of the contract is $218 million according to you, but to others it's $365 million.
that is not true.
So what have they put in?
You need to revise the contract. The contract is there. The figure that you are talking about are not true. Completely.
I'm asking you to tell the public.
But also,
what has Ezra?
What I'm saying?
What has Ezra put in?
Take it from me. Has the minister responsible?
I understand, and I have
what you got from the public.
I have to go with your figures, but the question is, what has Ezra put in all that money? Have they invested all that money in the contract?
Ezra, I told you that Ezra is going to generate into the phases. What we have now is 33. And we are expecting when the demand of the Juba city rises, automatically they will come in. But the value of the contract is 200, more than 200
I'm asking
million,
about,
and the capacity is 100. What they invest now is 33 million.
US dollars.
No, capacity.
No, I'm talking.
I'm not aware. I'm not aware about the money.
I'm
not aware about the money that they have put, but the contract that we have signed is 100 megawatt. The value of that contract is 200 point something, and they must have to put this 100. But how they invested until now to reach 33 is not none of my responsibility.
But you just told me that the contract the investment was $218 million.
Yes.
And you don't know how much of that has been released.
None of my responsibility to know it. What I want, I need 100 megawatt to be installed, and then which is going to cost the amount that we have signed already. But this part of it, the first phase, is not my responsibility to go and audit how much you invested, because what we are aiming for is this 100, and they must have to do it according to the phases that we have requested them.
The other loophole is that the South Sudan Electricity Corporation should have signed the contract instead of the ministry. Why did you bypass the utility?
Who tell you this?
That is according to the law.
No.
Yes.
No.
They are.
The law, let me tell you the law.
They are independent.
Let me tell you the law. It is your right to know the laws of this ministry. What is responsible is called regulatory authority. The regulatory authority is the one responsible. In case of the private sector, it is the regulatory authority to sign, not the South Sudan Electricity Corporation. And the law say, instead of the absence of the regulatory authority, which is not formed until now, the minister and the ministry should now act in the state of regulatory authority. So it is not the responsibility of South Sudan Electricity Corporation.
What is the work?
They don't have anything to do with the private sector.
What is the work of the South Sudan Electricity Corporation?
The work, this is a government arm. You are now talking sense. It's a government arm. It doesn't have any responsibility, jurisdiction with the private sector.
So is your ministry that is capable of implementing?
Exactly. Not even all the entire ministry. It is something called regulatory authority. This regulatory authority, the law say, in its absence, it is the minister to act on behalf of regulatory authority. So I'm acting as a regulatory authority.
I want to ask you about the sale of the power and how it is going to be done. And Ezra has formed a company called JETCO, and JETCO is majority owned by Ezra, and 48% government and 52% Ezra. So that means Ezra will be paying themselves.
You know, JETCO is not formed by Ezra. JETCO is formed by the contract that the government of the Republic of South Sudan signed with the Ezra.
Ezra owns it.
No, Ezra doesn't
They are
own it.
majority shareholder.
It is a partnership. It is a partnership. Let me tell you how JETCO came in. JETCO came in because Ezra want to generate and sell its power to the government. But they need to be assured that they will collect their money. They will get their money. For them to be assured, because I told you before that there were no guarantee, to be assured that they are going to pay it, we must have to form a partnership company. The Ezra, the board of this JETCO, it has 5 members. It is led by this ministry, is the chair. The 2 members, they are from the corporation, and the 2 members, they come from the Ezra. This is the management of the JETCO. The JETCO will actually collect money and then take the percentage of the tariff that was sold to Ezra, channel it to the Ezra account, and the rest should go to the government.
Do you
account.
agree that the JETCO is 52% owned by Ezra?
That is not matter.
But that is the fact.
Even if own,
the fact
let me
is,
tell you this. I think I stated to you the role of the JETCO. That is not matter. Even if Ezra own it 80%, that is not the problem.
Why
because
is it not the problem?
What JETCO does is just only to make sure that the production from the Ezra is distributed and the money are collected. And then this money which are collected, Ezra should take its tariff. That is it.
Now, here is another loophole. That partnership with Ezra is made between the ministry and Ezra, rather than the corporation, which is the public utility.
That is what.
So you have relegated the role of the utility. You have privatized the role of the corporation.
Madingo, let us give correct information to the public.
That is the correct information.
The correct information, JETCO has a membership from the utility, from the corporation. There are members of the...
Is your undersecretary that signed the contract?
Undersecretary
48% in favor of the ministry and 52% in favor of Ezra. And what will be happening? Ezra will make the collections and pay themselves. This is unheard of.
That is not true.
This is unheard of.
That is not true. What convey you this message are saying liars.
I have the evidence. I can show you.
You can show me.
I have the registration.
You can show me. We are ready.
I can show you.
We are ready. We are ready to expose you. Now you are.
Which one? What are you disputing?
What I am disputing, JETCO as a company has a membership from the corporation. This is what
I'm talking about. The shares allocation.
The shares.
It's supposed to be government getting majority, but the government is getting minority shares.
Do you know the responsibility of JETCO? Have you seen the rule governing the JETCO?
It is exactly the role.
It is not about the shares.
It is exactly what the corporation should be doing.
It is not.
That is what JETCO is going to be doing.
It is not. Madingor, you talk when you open your program. You talk of darkness. This ministry has a ministry of darkness, and you said that there is light. Can you ask yourself where light come from? We should not dwell on things that they were proved to be wrong. We must have to change. The corporation has done nothing all this time. For us to move away from darkness to the light, we must have to introduce reforms.
You must kill the
one
corporation.
Of the reforms,
If the corporation must be dead because they are not doing anything.
It can even die because it is not necessarily all over the world now. The corporation is not must. I have many countries there are nothing called corporation completely because the corporation is significant when it's doing something. But if corporation is not doing something, can we keep it so that we must have the corporation? In many countries, I went to Nigeria, there is no corporation. I went to many countries, I have seen the experiences. I went to Hen, there is no corporations.
So you are saying...
You know what I want to say, we want to come up with the reforms that can make us have a service. Instead of saying that, let us retain cooperation.
But Ezra has gotten a sweetheart deal. They will be paying themselves, which is something extraordinary.
I don't think so.
Because they own the company that will be doing the collection and the distribution.
I don't agree completely because the JETCO is a partnership. We have a members of corporation in JETCO. We have a members of the ministry in the JETCO. Completely, I don't agree.
The other thing you will probably not agree with is how you are not following in your ministry, you don't follow public service regulations in your appointments. And there is a trend we are seeing here. You are killing the corporation, you are centralizing the work under your ministry. That is the accusation. And even appointing people contrary to the regulations of public service.
All these things are allegations. I don't agree. This ministry is one of the ministries which is under employment. Our workforce now is 42, which is very dangerous with the projects which are coming up now. Even the Minister of Labor knows this. I went to him many times in order to help us to appoint our staff. We are not going against the law. The Minister of Justice, despite the fact that the Minister of Labor refused to make an appointment, some ministers, they were doing their appointment.
There is this accusation
something which we have not done. We are now following with the Minister of Labor in order to see into it that we have an appointment.
There is this accusation that you have appointed your former office manager to be the Director General for Finance and Administration.
He's a capable guy. It's not me who appointed it.
They are saying that he has fictitious...
It was appointed through public service regulation. And if you want to look into his file, you can see it. And he's a South Sudanese. He has a right to compete and get that position.
And the information I have is that he's not qualified for the job. Do you want to bet?
That is not true. I think you need also to go and sit with him. And you also need to sit with the Undersecretary.
Now,
who is
Minister,
for demonstration.
Have you been telling me and my audience that we should get electricity at all costs, and that is fixing South Sudan? We shouldn't care about the process of acquiring electricity, even though it's coming at a very exorbitant price.
Exactly, I disagree. We must have to see into it that our population are safe.
Electricity by all means.
No.
It doesn't matter whether it follows the laws or not.
That is not true. First of all, we are following the laws. We cannot go. I am the only minister who used to go to the cabinet with its project and get the approval. And this is reality. I am the only minister which has been vetted by the loan committee. And this is reality. Because I refuse not to do things alone. I must have to follow the rules and procedures. Concerning the high cost of electricity, we are working on this. We are trying our best in order to see into it that we bring it down by generating through other sources, especially the solar system. And we are doing it.
Many people have been congratulating you because they are seeing something for the first time. It took Dr. Dhieu Mathok Diing for Juba to have some semblance of electricity. So how do you feel about that?
I thank them for that feeling, but myself, I'm not feeling that I did something, because Juba is not South Sudan. As a Minister of Energy and Dams, I must have to see into it that South Sudan has this electricity, and our aim, this is a quick fixing, as you're talking, but our aim is to generate through this hydropower. This is really very important, and we have priorities on this. We are working on it. We will be happy when we see the South Sudan have a light, all not only Juba.
It's amazing that you have mentioned the hydropower, and if indeed Ezra has the money to the tune of $200 million, why was it invested in this dirty power instead of hydropower? And you mentioned the project of the Norway, which was interrupted. But it is not the interruption by the war. It is the fact that the government did not pay its share of the bargain, which was 25%.
That is not true.
I have been following this.
That is not true.
Yes.
That is not
Norway
true.
was willing, Norfund in particular, was willing to give 75%, funded 75%.
That is not true.
And 25% government. But the government did not pay for the project to go ahead.
That is not true, Madin. That is not true.
Do you agree that it would have been better to have hydropower rather than what we are getting?
First of all, I don't know the time of your program, but what you said is completely wrong. What is wrong? The Norway decided to withdraw their funding because there was a war in Juba. And they believe that this project will not work. South Sudan doesn't need development now. They just need humanitarian. That was their basic idea. So I don't want to talk much about
Some
it.
officials were insisting on getting a percentage. That's why they call it off, because of corruption.
I don't know about that. But myself, I came here and I invited the ambassador, and we have discussed it. He didn't tell me now, that we are colleagues.
The point
we were asking for the 10%. That was not true.
The point I want to say and put across is that the Fuller Hydro Rapids project, as they call, was to the tune of $150 million. So if Ezra has $200 million, why couldn't you go for
Ezra is
why couldn't you go for the
Madingor? It was not our choice. These were not our money. If it was our money, we would have why that one. But Ezra, as a businessman, has a right to decide.
As a government, you can dictate where the investment should go. We need clean, renewable energy.
I cannot dictate on the businessman. You know, the business is about the partnership. And it is about the interest. You cannot dictate. If you dictate and say that I don't want to invest in that hydro, what can I do to them?
Will the project be sustainable?
Which one?
Because it's going to use crude, and where is it going to come from?
Which one?
The power stations.
The crude will come from Falloy. And they have already signed the contract with the Minister of Petroleum, and they are now building their own ship. They are building a boat to take the crude from Falloy to.
You know a lot about this country because you are a responsible person, someone important in the government. Things flare up and then there is no electricity. Is it something you have been thinking about, that maybe this is not 100% sustainable? It would be better at some point. You're talking about solar, which is renewable energy, and Fuller Rapid would have been a perfect opportunity for the country. Clean energy.
You know, generation from the hydropower, it needs transmission line, which has its own cost. It's not easy to generate and then take it from the generation to come for distribution. So it is a plan of more than 6 or 7 years. We cannot wait for the hydro to come in while we are in darkness. That is why we have this quick solution. But it doesn't mean that we are not generating from the hydro. We are doing them.
The estimate for that project of the Fuller Rapids was only a year, and it would have been done. And then you had funding from the African Development Bank to the tune of $30 million, which you contracted Power China to put the transmission lines. Even those transmission lines, they have problems. They get knocked off by borders and by vehicles. You are talking about quick fixes, and quick fixes are not permanent. That is not how you fix South Sudan. You go for the final and lasting solution.
Madingor, the technology which is here in Juba now, as far as electricity is concerned, the network and generation, is top. We brought a technology where the electricity now is in the world. What we have now is the same. We are even far than advanced country in terms of electricity. You know, this is the advanced technology what we are using now in Juba. The poles are not meant to be knocked by the cars. Actually, this is a wrong conception.
But it's happening.
It's happening because they are not meant to be knocked by the car. If somebody believes that he should knock the pole such that it cannot collapse, this is not true.
But you protect everything against the elements because everything is not always constant.
What is important for us to protect it is environment, and we can be blamed for it. But negligence from the people, now we are amending our law such that we take them to the court. Anybody tamper with those facilities, we are going to take them to the court.
Have you fixed South Sudan? You are the minister who has wrongly or rightly brought electricity, and you are getting plaudits for that. Have you fixed South Sudan?
I believe that I and others can fix South Sudan. I cannot fix it alone.
Have you?
But we are doing our part.
Have you made decisions in the interest of South Sudan?
Absolutely. What we are doing is according to the laws and regulations and the interest of the people of South Sudan.
Minister, thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you very much.